Hey guys, Noel here, and it is Saturday night, and before I go to bed after a long, fun, and exhausting day, I thought it would be fun for us to do a video game review for the video game section of the YouTube channel. One of my favorite consoles is the Sega Saturn, and one of my favorite fighting games is Dead or Alive, so I thought it would be fun for us tonight to review Dead or Alive 1 Ultimate, which is a Sega Saturn game, but not on the Sega Saturn. We're going to be playing it tonight on the Mountain Dew Xbox. So without further ado, I'm going to hit the lights. You can enjoy some attract mode, and we'll play Dead or Alive 1 Ultimate on the Mountain Dew Xbox. I am literally trying the orange creamsicle Coca-Cola for the first time right now, and it's good stuff. So the Sega Saturn version of Dead or Alive 2 is a port of the arcade version of Dead or Alive 2, which is made on Sega Model 2 arcade hardware, which is the engine that produced Virtua Fighter 2. So this game plays fairly similar to Virtua Fighter 2. However, there is a counter button you can use where you can predict the direction of your enemy's attacks. It also, in my experience, can be used for some throwing moves. So it's an interesting fighting engine. And there is a stereotype that is, I think, generally unwarranted, that Sega Saturn is essentially good for 2D fighting games, but 3D is really the PlayStation's strong suit, and no doubt 3D is a strong suit of the Sony PlayStation, but Sega Saturn, when programmed for properly, could look as good or better than the Sony PlayStation, and this certainly is a case for the Sega Saturn's 3D prowess. So as we get into this game, we'll see how good it looks and just how good 3D on the Sega Saturn can look. Now, the Xbox has got something of a reputation of being a spiritual successor to Sega after they left the console market, and this definitely feeds into that narrative. I'm going to actually put this on normal. Why does it feed into that narrative? Because this is a Sega Saturn game playing on an Xbox, and Sega Dreamcast games that were in development that never got released during the Dreamcast life cycle, which was short, unfortunately, did end up getting released on the Xbox. For the purposes of this review, we're going to play as Kasumi, but here's our cast of characters. We have Kasumi, Zack, Hayabusa, Bayman, Lei Fang, Genfu, Tina, and Jan Lee. Now, the PlayStation version of this game looks like a completely different game because I'm sure it's not being based off of the Sega Model 2 hardware like the... No, I don't want to exit. Like the Saturn version is, because the Saturn was based on Sega Model 2 hardware. So here's Zack, who is just like Dennis Rodman. Now, I unfortunately don't have the actual Saturn release of this game. When I see pictures of it on YouTube, the Xbox version looks smoother, and that might be because the Xbox is smoothing out graphics, the same way that the PlayStation 2 smooths out graphics on the PS1 games when you play a PS1 game on a PS2. But the PlayStation version of this game, it definitely looks great, but the graphic style is totally different. This looks like the arcade game of Dead or Alive 1, and the PlayStation version, it's got that, the backgrounds are not as detailed, and the characters have a little bit of a smoother shine to them, but that's, it doesn't necessarily look better or worse, it just looks different. Now, I'm sure you're noticing that this is something different than other Dead or Alive games you might be used to. Landmines. And so rather than getting a ring out on this game, you have landmines outside the ring that add a little bit of spice to your fight. And that's a very real thing you have to look out for. It adds an extra layer of strategy to this game. Lots of reviews for this game on YouTube talk about how Virtua Fighter, which we recently reviewed on the 32X, really served as an inspiration for this game, and it is true. From what I've looked into, Virtua Fighter was popular for sure in the United States, but it had a huge impact in Japan and really helped propel Saturn to prominence over there, much better than in the United States. So Virtua Fighter really served as not only something that was created on the same arcade hardware as Dead or Alive, but really, is due its success is something that Dead or Alive owes its existence to, because imitation is certainly the highest form of flattering. Although I will say, the game Dead or Alive does add some new things that Virtua Fighter did not have, like this counter button. See if I can actually see. Well, she countered me right there. I was trying to counter her attacks there, and that actually, since Kasumi is a striking heavy character, that didn't work out well. One thing you also may be noticing is the boob physics on this game, which are quite remarkable. So, just, they definitely know their audience. Young men who like to play Japanese fighting games. Whoa, careful. Gosh darn it. Getting all distracted here with these 32-bit girls and trying not to strike as much and trying to show you guys grapple counter technique. Very beautiful backgrounds. This game has my favorite music out of any Dead or Alive game. And Dead or Alive has really nice music. This game's music is very much in that mid-90s dance club, rave, J-pop style. Really goes with the intensity and the rhythm of the fighting. Later entries in Dead or Alive kind of got a little bit more of a rock aesthetic to them, which is not bad by any means necessary at all. But I think this fits the genre a bit better. Dead or Alive 3, which we also reviewed on the channel on the original Xbox, Aerosmith did the opening to that, which was alright, but I don't know. I like the music in this game better. Here's Bayman. Now, the PlayStation one is good. That version has Bass and Ayane in it. This one does not. But it's worth noting that the PlayStation version came out a year and a half after the Saturn version. So the Saturn version is a port of the arcade version, and a darn good one. And the PlayStation version is pretty much a different game with a couple new characters, but with the same title and same solid characters and boss. So by solid characters I mean core characters. No one in this game is solid. They're computers. You can't actually hit them. They live in a CRT screen, which is solid. So there we go. It is super late. I'm getting a little loopy. Playing this game on normal because I don't think we'll get an ending if I play it on easy. This game is, like Virtua Fighter, light on story, which is unfortunate because the game has a cool story. But you kind of have to find out that story through subsequent sequels and, looking into, instruction manuals and Wikipedia pages and YouTube videos. And he just really showed why the mines outside the ring are dangerous. Gosh darn it. Bayman's giving me trouble here. Come on. I think with Dead or Alive is you really have to kind of mix up, gosh darn it, the direction in which your moves are coming from. Or the computer will get wise to you. Come on, man. Sigh. Really nice music when you get knocked out, though. So those grapple counters are what I'm doing right there. That seems to be working in my favor, mixing things up a little bit. Gosh darn it! No, 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 no! Oh, come on, man. If Bayman is being this bad, Rido is going to be freaking impossible. Okay, so the boss of this game is, I was talking about the story of this game before I started going on a losing streak here. And Rido is Kasumi's uncle, who seemingly kills Hayate, her brother. So he is either the leader of her ninja clan or someone super important in it. So she's abandoning the ninja clan to get revenge for her brother, a la 47 Ronin. Damn it, man alive! Give me a freaking win here. So the story is cool. Rido is looks like a cross between Akuma and Dan. So definitely the influence of other fighting games from this time can be felt on Dead or Alive. And there we go. That's much better. Slow and steady wins the race. If you look at the arcade version of this game, I think it actually lacks some of the pretty 2D artwork from you see in this game. Definitely the character select screen is, I think, more aesthetically pleasing on the Saturn version. If we start going on like a huge losing streak, we'll just wrap up the video. I don't want this to turn into like a half an hour of me struggling. But I do want you to see the game. Darn it. Really nice detail on the faces. That's looking good so far. Got him. I have to go. My planet needs me. Kasumi divided against itself cannot stand. Gosh darn it, come on. This is really not going well. That familiar narrator really adds to the energy and intensity. Not good at all. This really does, though, lay the foundation for the beautiful girls and interesting, innovative gameplay and artistic vibrance that Dead or Alive is really known for, and, you know, I think underappreciated. You know, it's really interesting how Dead or Alive 2 would, you know, kind of change its aesthetic style, still be very, very beautiful, but really add a ton of stuff. Most notably is the tag mode. We're so close to beating her. Got her. Here comes the big boss, man. As my son would say, here comes the boss. And, yeah, he's incredibly cheap and annoying. I wonder, can I get a ring out if I go that far out? It's an interesting... I don't know. I've never done it. I've only had this game for about a week or so. And this is actually the second day I've actually gotten to play it with any real depth. Come on, go down. No, no, no. Counter, counter, counter. No, no, no. Yes. Boing. Right. So the fun thing about Dead or Alive here is we have this very cool screen here where we can put our initials in. Basically run around the course, and there's a bunch of mines. And then we get knocked out when we hit that right there. And we get this very cool credits screen. Let's sit back and enjoy it. Yeah, I love the artwork on this game. I just love the artwork in general from fighting games in anime and manga from this time period. So this game really has, a lot of the artistic flair that Tekken has, but with some, really interesting emphasis on, beautiful women and just a little bit more of a cartoony style. And the music is just top-notch. Dead or Alive has always been a very beautiful fighting game. When I try to zoom in here. Powerful stuff here. It's like an art movie. To an 80s power ballad here. Alright, so there we have it, guys. That is Dead or Alive 1 Ultimate on the Mountain Dew Xbox. Or for the Sega Saturn, if you get it on the Sega Saturn. Awesome game that I highly, highly recommend. So I'm going to upload this and drink a creamsicle Coke. Until next time, guys, my name's Noel. You take care, and don't have too many of these. Bye-bye.